Well, who would have thought after a trip into the high country that we'd be back here at Highfields Mechanical with the Jeep doing a damage report on it. Reuben, what have you done to me? And where are you, by the way? Like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and we're ready to go, and I've got a Jeep that's broken and you're not here, so get your act together. Burgers would be good. Anyway, we're going to get the Jeep inside. It is broken. The high country took its toll on it. So I don't know whether it was the high country or whether it was Reuben, but I've got an idea what's broken on it, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. We'll get it inside and see what's going on. To be fully upfront, I think the things that are broken on the Jeep aren't actually because it's a Jeep. So the Jeep, I think, in its normal form, performed flawlessly. It did everything well. They are unbelievably capable. Crawled up everything, drove everything, really comfortable with the independent suspension on it, or not independent suspension, the solid axle coils, and drove really, really well. The supercharger, that VCM Performance, you know, we got the supercharger through, worked flawlessly, did its thing, performed and drove and made plenty of power and torque, and hearing this thing go up through the hills in the high country was just schmick, absolutely insane to listen to. But what's let it down, and we'll show you when we pull it all apart, and we had to replace rear crown wheel and pinion the Wednesday night we were away, and it's failed again. So, and that's a 538 gear ratio front and rear in this thing, so we changed from a 411 I believe to a 538, which just was too big a gear change. With the 37s, the extra power, it's just shattered the back crown wheel and pinion, so we've got some major issues in there. That led to having to tow or drove the Jeep on the front axle in four-wheel drive for quite some time to get it out of where we were, plus a lot of towing and stuff like that. And we've actually, at best, we've cooked the oil in the transfer case. At worst, we've done a transfer case as well. But we're going to pull the oils out and see what they're like, see if we can restore that transfer case with new oil, and do some diff ratio changes on it to put it back to the 411s so we can still use it. It's going to, you know, work pretty hard on the 37-inch tyres with the 411 gears, but we haven't got much choice. 488s are probably the ideal ratio for this thing, and if you're thinking about 538s, don't go there, you're going to break them. Which is what we've learned from taking this thing on tour in the high country and finding out that they're not good enough for it. So yeah, let's get it up, have a look at it, and see what we find. Come for a walk underneath. Let's do a quick rundown front to back. Take a look at the tyres. So the chipping out of those tyres is going to give you a bit of an idea of some of the country that we're in and where we're driving. So it's been worked hard. This, we'll get the cover off and show you, is broken. Listen, can you hear that noise? I don't know if you can hear it. Horrible, broken in there. So we know we've got to fix that. Come through underneath, transfer case up in here. We've got to get the oil out of because it's cooked, and we need to find out what's going on with that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we haven't got to get a transfer case for it, because that's basically 6.5, 7 grand, and not really money we want to spend. Can't get parts, you've got to buy the whole thing. Come to the front. We do have an issue with the front sway bar disconnect. Now, we've actually got the sway bar disconnected on it because that was interfering with all the electrics of it. One of the pros and cons of Jeeps. Pros, they are just so electronic and do a lot of things electronically. Cons, they are so electronic and do a lot of things electronically. It can bite you in the backside, which it did with this thing. So because the rear diff locker is broken, the front diff locker won't engage. It senses all that and it just goes, nah, I'm not going to work. Because the transfer case is slipping and not working properly, it throws a heap of fault codes and electronically doesn't want to do its thing. So makes it a lot more difficult to use when things play up. So if you get an old Land Cruiser, an old Patrol, old Hiluxes, any of the old vehicles without all those electronics on it, if something breaks, electronically you can still drive out, because or you can get yourself somewhere without doing any further damage. The electronics in these cars is a bit of a handful when something goes wrong. So we've got to get to the bottom of that and get that sorted as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things on it that we've got to fine tune, get the scan tool in it. It's going to have 1,000 fault codes in it. There's 28 computers in this car, and yeah, I think maybe 25 of them have all got fault codes that are relevant to each other. So that's another thing we've got to address. But yeah, it's just modern day motoring, modern day four-wheel drive. So we're getting into an era where you can't get away from that stuff. But let's get the diff apart and see what we're up against. Take a look at that. So that there's our crown wheel. It should have nice peaked teeth on it. They're all gone. See if it turns around. Broken, 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 broken. It's been chewing away there. There's going to be no teeth left on the pinion. That there is our diff locker. Oh, broken. That there should be attached to there. Now the problem with this, I called Jeep yesterday. Jeep, can you supply us a e-locker, some wheel bearings, other bearings for the diff? Jeep's response was, that's no problems. You've got to buy the whole axle assembly. So everything from here to here comes as one unit. You can't buy individual parts in this thing. So 12-week wait from the States. So we've got to try and basically make strawberry jam out of pig crap. See what we can come up with and get this back together. Oh, it's just bad. I did make a prediction before we went away that at some stage Reuben may have to tow the Land Cruiser because it's so heavy and might not have been able to get up hills. It nailed every hill that we drove. And then I also made the prediction that I'd be towing Reuben home. I think it was Friday night, we had a 4-hour tow out of the high country to Mansfield where this thing was parked, and organised a tow to get it home. But yes, it did have to get towed home, but not a Jeep problem. It was aftermarket parts that failed. So to Jeep's credit, everything stood up from a Jeep point of view. Take a look at it. It's done like one too many lines of ice, been chewing away at itself. Broken, absolutely broken. It's meant to mesh in there nicely, but it's not. It's broken. Hey, it's blisters, eh? Turns up when the work's done.
Hey mate, we needed the parts.
Ah, good job.
We can always, but don't worry about it, we'll make Craig chew. It's fine.
Oh, you bring Smoko, did you?
Yeah.
I'd asked for burgers and look, wish has been granted.
Well, let's have a feed and you can tell me all about the destruction.
Yeah, it's broken again, that's for sure.
How is this not as full as last time?
I just reckon it's because we towed it.
You reckon?
Yeah, that up there should connect to those wires there.
Yeah.
We should open circuit.
We need to stop meeting this way, On the tracks, it's fun. And we've got to not meet the way we met you on the way to 𝗬𝗢𝗨'𝗟𝗟 either.
No, that was, that's fixed.
Yeah.
That's fixed. All the wheels are back on the Cruiser now.
But you know what though? This, who cares? I'll blow 500 of these before I'd want to lose a wheel in that circumstance. Because that could have turned out so bad. Could have been upside down, could have been car written off, you could have been hospitalised.
I haven't got the right wheel nuts, but that's the nut that come off it.
Yeah.
And you can see it's only
biting
just
right
picking up on the outside edge, and that was one of the nuts that we put on, which sort of got full engagement on the taper, which made a huge difference. So unfortunately, the supplier buggered up.
Yeah.
And they've come to the party, they're sorting it out for me, which is great.
That's all you can ask for.
Oh, 100%.
People make mistakes and things happen. It's how you fix them is what, in my opinion, actually shows the character of the company.
I probably should have paid a bit more attention to the wheel nuts, but again, in a hurry, trying to get things done.
But the thing is though, like, you went round them numerous times.
Yeah.
And checked them.
Yep. But it's all back together. It's got a full set of the same wheels on it again, and full set of proper nuts, and they aren't coming off anytime soon.
Well, I'm excited to get this back going because I really want to see what the transfer case does. So it stopped driving when it gets hot, so the oil must have fried itself, and it's not putting any power anywhere when you try and drive it in front wheel drive after about 5 minutes. So, yeah.
What we might actually drain that out before we go any further on the back end.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
Just have a look at it and see what it's like, eh?
Yeah.
Just if we've got to organise another plan for that, we can.
Yeah, because
we've got a little bit of time.
Yes, very true.
So,
all right, let's see if there's chunks.
I'll grab
These,
another oil drain and yeah, we'll make sure we can undo the filler plug first.
All right.
Oh, look at that terrible looking rubbish.
We can actually do this without. We can do this with our eyes closed now, Craig and I.
Had plenty of practice.
I'll come back and I'll get that other race out. Righto, Hannah.
What could go wrong?
You can. That's it. Upper.
Righto, nearly yours. Okay,
there we go.
It. Excellent.
That just comes off.
That just pull off, I think.
Yeah, so we don't need to put that back on. Because that's...
Yeah, that can just sit there, that locates in there. Unless by some miracle...
It's pulled wires out though on that thing, so it's going to have a broken circuit. We'd have to solder it and then it'd be all over the show and have a short and...
Or you, Hannah?
That's it.
Beautiful.
Like that. There those front stops. Even that, you've only got 2 teeth contacting.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that. So with that smaller one, you only would have had 1 tooth making contact patch.
Yeah, you've got basically two contacting all the time, sliding in there. One's coming out, one's going in. Whereas the other one,
you only would have been 1 at best. How trick are these Jeep Gladiator Rubicons in standard trim? How do you improve on that? Well, I can tell you, you turn it into a Rubicon. If this interests you guys, jump on the link below and get your entries into the comp today.
Hannah, you want to grab one of those bolts there, and just screw it into the hole. So what we're doing is we're putting the standard 411 diff gears back in, which I think we explained before. But again, it's a temporary repair until we can get the parts we need. So we want to run 488s in it, which we can't get straight away. So we're going to put standard diff gears back in, which means you can drive it again. We've got to use the bearings we had left from when we put the 538s in the first time. We won't have a locker on it because the locker's broken, so we haven't got a, you know, we're tossing up whether to go e-locker or air locker, and I think Reuben's preference is air locker. So we haven't got air lockers here at the moment, so we can't put a locker back into it. That's the broken one, so it's not going to work again anyway. So essentially, it's basically, unfortunately, we'll have to do this again. So we'll set it up as best we can with what we've got, and once we get all the components that we need to make it right, I reckon you kids can do it next time.
You know, cleaning it is the most important job.
Exactly.
The most important job. Otherwise, it'll just explode again like that.
Really?
Yes. You don't want metal getting in your bearings. So there's lots of metal in there. So that is the most mundane job, but it's the most important job.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting you to do the most important job. Well, what we're doing here is we're putting the race in the diff there for the pinion bearing. So we've got some other ones to put in out the front. So this is the tedious job. Sometimes they're a bit of a pain to start, but once you get them started, they go all right. Look at that. It's unbelievable coming somewhere where you've got all the right tools to do things that makes your life so much easier. I reckon she's spot on. We're going to run with that anyway, because we're waiting on a set of 4 8/8 gears and some air lockers and all sorts of stuff. This is so I can go wheeling again soon, and I'm not going to be doing massive big trips. I'm going to be hanging out with our mate Lucas out at the Springs a bit and testing out what more this Jeep can do. I tell you what, I'm in absolute awe. I'm standing on the top of Blue Rag here in Victorian High Country. Now I've just driven down from 𝗬𝗢𝗨 in my Jeep. It's just had a tune, had a supercharger. These guys have flashed diesel, sorted all that out. Now, it's sometimes scary travelling when you've had your car played with, but with these guys, my car is running an absolute treat, and it's using no fuel compared to what it was before, and it's like just got way more power. So guys, check out the flash diesel dealers near you and book your car in, because you won't regret it. Good morning, Dirty Mutters. I'm having a coffee and contemplating what we do with the front diff now.
And the meaning of diffs.
Yes. This one should be easy, mate, shouldn't it?
It's not broken.
No. I reckon it'll be the same as what we did the first time, as long as we don't have to spread the diff, because the diff spreader that we made is a little bit, needs some tweaking.
Farm spec.
Yeah, it's farm spec, needs some tweaking. And our main man at BMW, Tim, has got one back from the 80s, but...
Can we get that and leave it here? Because I don't think Tim would use it anymore, would he?
No, that's correct. So, we just got to track him down though.
Yeah.
Because I don't really feel like driving. Like this, to me, folks, I know this seems boring to you, but from your shop to my shop is a pain in the freckle. Okay?
You've got to get food on the way.
Yeah. Like it's 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that for a country town like 𝗬𝗢𝗨, that's going to tell you how far apart we really are. You know, it's like my height versus his height. A long way.
It is a long way, and it's a terrible drive.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, we love 𝗬𝗢𝗨.
Why did my shop have to be on the complete opposite side of town from where I live as well?
Well, that's exactly, I can't help you there. We got good burgers over this side.
But you do.
Savour this evening. So yeah, back diffs together, eh? Done, finished that last night. Did some tweaks with some wiring to tell the computer that everything's okay.
How about this, folks? He told me to go away, and that's not the words he used. Go away, leave me alone, I'm going to play with this thing, you're annoying me.
Yeah.
I went, okay, I'll just go and drink beer.
And you probably can understand that. So, front diff today, and then you're out of here.
On my way to some magical adventures of let's not break the Jeep again.
We should make that a theme.
Go on, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Right, Hannah, you need to get 10mm socket on the 3/8 drive rattle gun. Okay. Look at that. So, no. That's why. So that's why we left that one in there. See? That's the reason. Otherwise it all would have went all over you and all the rest of the stuff, and all the oil goes in there, so let that drain while we undo other stuff, and happy days. The drama I've been having with these is that they click in like this, they clip the other way, so I'm pressing them and trying to force them out, but you've got to actually get underneath them, clip them out and then press them. So I'm learning, folks. Wires are not my forte, side cutters fix wires for me. Tim, if you're watching, the diff spreader would have been real handy. I know you said you'd bring it up from Esk, but I don't want you to drive that far. Oh, it's alright, I'll persevere. I'll work something out. Folks, tag Tim as well. It's still a game. If you ever see Tim driving around, You've got to take a photo of him and tag BMW. Oh, I know you're cursing at me right now, Tim.
Okay, who remembers, let's be back in the 70s and 80s, if you wanted to find out exactly what the time was, you'd ring up a certain number on the old dial telephone, because this was even before push button, and it would go at the third stroke, it is 9:45 and however many seconds precisely. That's what it would say. Who remembers? If you're born after, I don't know, if you're born when vegans started, you won't remember.
Well, you weren't there.
That's a good sign, but all the transmission oil, transfer case oil is new and it is cold. So it was driving a little bit when it was, cold. So I'm still not thinking we're out of the woods.
Maybe out of the shed. And drive, let's see. Oh! That's it, we're done, we're fixed, go back. Well, I reckon we're done. 411s are in and they work. The broken 538s are out. Drives nice, it's doing everything it seems to meant to be doing. We've got no lights coming on the dash. I'm going to put sticky tape over all the buttons so Reuben can't play with them. Actually, I might just super glue them into place, and I'll hand it back to him and go, don't break it again, because I want it out of my life. Hey mate, how you going?
Hey mate.
What's
going on?
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
I mean, Frank, I'd said that before you left. I hope it's not that transfer. That's $6 grand, and yeah, I'm out of action, so I don't know what I'm going to do. It really isn't that bad.
I think a tow truck might be the go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was so hoping.
I'm trying to think of a technical term that's polite. It's
Cactus.
Cactus, unserviceable. Just order a new one.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll see you when I get back there in a second anyway.
Well, how? If it's not real good.
I'm just pulling your chain, mate. I'll drive back.
Oh, you
It's all good. It's all good. I'll see you in a sec. Evil. Funny, bud.
I tell you what, you are something else, pal, because I was freaking out. I really was, because I'm like $6 grand for a transfer case, thinking, well, they can't be that weak. Hey?
It's nearly the angriest I've seen you.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, all I can say is, bloody hell, mate. Righto, so it's going all good?
It's all going good.
So that's good news. And the 4.1s, no noises or anything? Backlash sounds good?
No, it drives smoothly, drives nicely. I think it's going to be a little bit lazy in the gear change just because it hasn't got that torque that it had just before. But I think the 488s, when we get those sorted, will be great.
Yeah, and we'll try and connect when I leave it here. We'll try and get that thing to talk to itself now you've unlocked it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it goes into that stereo.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So happy days,
mate. Thank you very much again.
It's working.
I'm freaked out. Yeah, anyway, I'm a very happy man now, once my heart's settled down. Well, I hope you liked that video. Make sure you hit subscribe or you're going to get bogged.